their story, and an underlying premise maintained is that life is not always easy. It can be difficult. So through participation in the girls group, these adolescent girls can learn how to better handle the stressors associated with growing up, whether it be home or school related. So much of what teens deal with is related to social relationships and status. Understanding and normalizing these experiences will empower group members while providing a creative and artistic expression of their truth, their story. The plan is to implement the Girls Project at Idaho Falls High School in the fall of 2017. It will be facilitated by a social worker. The role of the social worker is vital to the success and mission of the group. They will work to suggest alternative viewpoints and solicit stories. Irvin Yalom once said that only the wounded healer can truly heal. To me, this means authentic mirroring and reflection are crucial to instill a sense of normalization and connection while emphasizing respect for others. The social worker will interact on a personal level with each group member and encourage them to focus on their strengths. Through active listening, empathy, and giving girls the ownership of their stories. The mission of the Girls Project is simply that power lies in telling and sharing your story, and that understanding your story will lead to increased self-awareness, confidence, and improved relationships with others. Summarized simply, the goals of the group are this. The girls will author and share their story, which will elicit confidence and self-esteem while building a support network with other females, their peers. Perhaps even problem solving or group think. Mentorship. This aspect is an integral piece to the Girls Project. It will be a safe and non-judgmental space to share your story. And last, as I said, the group will be implemented in Idaho Falls School District 91 in the fall of 2017 at Idaho Falls High School. It will be facilitated by Brittany Oman, a contracted employee of the school district. The identified stakeholders in projecting this project are, of course, the students, the parents, the teachers and administration of School District 91, and the Idaho Falls community. At this time, there are no opponents to the group. So a little bit more information about the group. The focus of the group will be journaling, writing, and telling a life story with some aspect of both personal and social reward built into the program. We already know that creativity blossoms at this age, and it is beneficial to include it in the group setting. Art is often said to bring truth and illustration to stories, so therefore it's important to the group's purpose. The bulk of the group work focuses on artistic expression. Each group member will receive a blank sketchbook journal purchased through a grant from a local private donor, either the Women's Domestic Violence Shelter or the Idaho Art Museum. The cost is minimal, and the group members may use their own art supplies or paint, markers, and pencils provided by the school. It's important to note that the structure of the group is important, as we know that structure is important for this age group. In speaking to my experience with group work in schools, the group must be structured but not rigid, and the leader should maintain an agenda in the leadership role, but also allow the members to feel empowered in the process. I think this is key to any group, but arguably more so in working with teens. Their buy-in to the group does not come easy, so they must embrace their role and feel like they have some control in the process. Speaking to the group structure, A grounding exercise will begin each meeting, usually about 5 to 10 minutes each day. As many of you know, Dr. Lowe does this in her classes, and I think it brings a sense of calmness and maybe focus to the class time. Each group will then begin with a check-in where all are encouraged to share their feelings and the events of their week. This will then be followed by a discussion led by the social worker on a topic of interest and need. This can be anything from body image, self-esteem, dating, managing your gas money, lunch money, fighting with friends. The subject matter is endless. The group would then close by a journal topic to write or draw for the remaining time. Just some more details about the group. Ideally, I'd like to hold the group during a normal school day, the same period every day of the week. It would be 1 hour in duration and would run for a trimester. Eventually, I'd like to petition the district and make it possible for group members to get an elective credit for participation. The max number of members in the class at any given time will be 15, and referral is done by school staff or the social worker. An incentive program will be added to the program based on attendance and participation with social perks. As we all know that kids like to go out, and bribery, it sometimes works. I think that there's so much to be learned from our peers, especially as a teenage girl. Therefore, the group, the G.I.R.L.S project, could not be done without some kind of mentoring program in place. My plan is to have former group members come back occasionally and visit current group members to share their stories of success or trials or tears, and to provide insight and courage for the girls currently in the group. I added this quote from Steven Spielberg because I really liked what it said. I think it sums up the notion of mentoring in a nutshell. You know, we want to facilitate and foster someone's independence and growth, but at the same time give them enough space to learn it on their own, to learn their own lessons, especially at this time of development. So this is probably the most important slide in my presentation because mentoring is such a key component of my project. I think that it's crucial for girls at this stage of development to have a mentor, to have a teacher and a guide or someone just to talk to them. So in thinking about the G.I.R.L.S project, mentorship is key. My plan is to have former group members who have completed the G.I.R.L.S project come back and act as peer mentors or peer supports for current members. This will be in and outside of the group setting, hopefully in and out of school. The second part is having current group members that are involved in the group go into local elementary schools and speak to maybe those younger girls that are struggling with social, emotional issues, maybe selected by their teachers. We don't want to startle any of the little kids, but at the same time, maybe create a system of role models or someone to look up to. So by doing that, not only are the girls in my group getting a sense of accomplishment and a reward, but also giving future members something to look up to or something, maybe some comfort or words of wisdom. I chose this quote by Steven Spielberg because I think it really summed up the notion of mentoring. The delicate balance of mentoring someone is not creating them in your own image, but giving them the opportunity to create themselves. I just think that's a very powerful and key quote to my project. I wanted to include this slide as some examples of the projects that we will do in the G.I.R.L.S project. So as you can see, there is their journal / sketchbook, and they are free to create and author their own stories while developing their self-image and decreasing their anxiety and developing a support network. So it's a really multifaceted purpose group. So as I said, the G.I.R.L.S Project is one step in bringing forth positive change in females at a stage in their life that defines them. No one has ever said that being a teenager is easy. It's a period in human development that presents numerous trials, tears, and lessons, especially for females. An astounding number of adolescent girls are faced with social issues surrounding and hindering not only their academic success, but also their ability to relate to others in a respectful and empathetic way. Brene Brown said that failure affects children and parents alike, and I would argue that it affects communities as well. This statement is a reflection on our society. Life has become too busy, too stressful, too superficial for some people to be decent. Stereotypes and prejudices are taught at home and brought into our schools. Many times parents are absent and kids are missing school, and behind the scenes there is an overwhelming lack of adult mentoring and guidance that once we enact can possibly change lives. The G.I.R.L.S Project is one step in bringing forth positive change. In a day and age where feminine beauty is based on your appearance, your popularity, your Facebook status, your weight, or the size of your jeans, the G.I.R.L.S Project is designed to empower and connect all women. Through mentorship and connection, girls will learn the power of their voices and the ability of their own strengths. They will learn how to write and create their own story, and furthermore, how to share it. Thank you.